What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land boxing talk, people. And today we talking Manny Pacquiao challenges Spence Jr. and Bud Crawford. Alright, y'all, so a few weeks back, Terence Bud Crawford basically laid out a challenge to Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr., but more calling out Pacquiao, saying that Pacquiao ducked him when he was on Top Rank Boxing. And Errol Spence Jr. has been silent basically since his car accident. You know, he flipped over several times in his Lamborghini, could have lost his life. And he's only said two things as far as social media goes. He's popped up at one fight, but he's really been silent compared to the Errol Spence Jr. That was before the car accident. And now we have 2020 Manny Pacquiao, Fighter of the Year, should have been Fighter of the Decade, calling out both Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. And to me, I think this is because I think the whole time Manny Pacquiao's goal was to unify the championships. And I think he tried to go about it on Top Rank Boxing, when he was still on Top Rank Boxing, and it just kind of fell apart when Bob Arum wanted to start pushing Bud Crawford and the whole Jeff Horn fight happened. And I think that whole plan just kind of fell apart as far as Top Rank Boxing. But I think when he hit PBC, and basically PBC holds most of the titles besides the one that Pacquiao got from Matisse and the one that Bud Crawford has. So I think when he got to PBC boxing, his plan the whole time was to beat the best as far as the young guys, and to possibly unify those titles with a fight with Bud Crawford eventually. Now, from what I'm hearing, Pacquiao would like for Crawford and Spence to fight, and he fight the winner, which would be a unification fight. If Terence Crawford was to win that fight, he would have both. I believe Spence has 2 belts, and he would have the belt that he holds. So he would have 3 belts, and then Manny Pacquiao would have the 2 belts. I don't know if they merged those 2 belts, which was the super belt and the regular title that he holds. So I don't know which scenario is going to play out. I think either way, if Pacquiao and Spence fought, or Pacquiao and Crawford fought and then he fought Spence, or Pacquiao and Spence fought and then he fought Crawford, you know, or Crawford and Spence fight and then one of them fights Pacquiao. I don't care which scenario plays out. I just want to see both of those fights, the Crawford Spence and the Pacquiao either or, so Spence or Crawford. I would much rather see the Spence fight, because I think it's more of a challenge. Even though we don't know what Spence has left, but I think it's more of a challenge for Pacquiao than Crawford, only because of what Bob Arum said about Terence Crawford and his matchmakers. So, you know, let me know what y'all think about Manny Pacquiao challenging Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. You know, do you think Crawford has something left after the car accident, or is he done? Is Bud Crawford too much for Pacquiao? Let me know down in the comment section. Hit that like button for me. Please subscribe. If you want to be a part of the Ali Land Boxing Talk community, always leave me a comment down below. I think that's all for now, man. Once again, this is Ali Land Boxing Talk. Manny Pacquiao challenges Spence Jr. and Bud Crawford. We out of here.